And right here, right now,
Alright, this is Josh Rubin from East West Healing and Performance. I haven't been on YouTube maybe like in a week and a half. I was teaching exercise coach at the Czech Institute, so I'm back. I'm a little tired here, folks, so I'm going to do a lot of reading. But, I would say almost every day we get probably 2 or 3 emails. You get 2 or 3 phone calls, at least, and that's, 4 to 6 a day, of people asking about H.Pylori. They're working with their doctors. They tested positive for H.Pylori. And what do? They've done the antibiotic treatment. They still have H.Pylori. What do they do? And I've gone over in one of my YouTube clips before, and you can refer to that, about the different types of testing with H.Pylori and what's the most effective treatment to see if you actually have H.Pylori. So it can be pretty misleading. At the same time, I went over why just antibiotics don't work and why you need to introduce herbal protocols as well as dietary protocols. You can't just take herbs and get rid of H.Pylori, right? So how you live and how you eat is really specific. So today I want to go over just in basics why some of these antibiotics don't work, and then just basic supplements that can actually help kill H.Pylori, because there's different types of H.Pylori. There's Helicobacter pylori, there's Helicobacter hartmanni, and this Helicobacter hartmannicus. So there's 3 different types of H. pylori, or I should say 4 in a sense. So it's important that you know maybe what type you have, what type of digestive issues you have, and the herbal protocol you take, because the same protocol is not going to work for everyone. So let's go over some of my notes here. A lot of the times doctors actually will give people antacids, antibiotic, proton pump inhibitors, and H2 blockers. Well, some of the times this works. According to them, 90% of the time it works. The problem is it might actually get rid of the H. pylori from testing soon thereafter. So you have to make sure that if you've done any of this, my recommendation is wait at least a month before you retest. And you have to do a stool test to see if you still have the antigens in your body. Now, a lot of the antacids, like these combinations, don't work because antacids actually neutralize stomach acid. Things like Tagamet, Zantac, Mylanta, Tums, all these things, right? The problem is there's a lot of side effects that can cause breast enlargement, dizziness, fatigue, headaches, and all that. So a lot of the times, antacids by themselves don't work. You're actually trying to eliminate the sense of feeling that you're producing too much hydrochloric acid, but in a sense with H. pylori, you're actually not producing enough because the H. pylori actually affects the parietal cells in your gut, which actually inhibits hydrochloric acid production. Other things I usually prescribe are antibiotics. These are basically used to eradicate H. pylori, not inhibit it, but eradicate it. Things like tetracycline, Flagyl, there's a whole list of them. It just depends on your doctor. The problem is there's so many side effects from this: possible joint pain, diarrhea, dizziness, flu-like symptoms, low blood pressure, itching, rashes, severe gut dysfunctions leading to candida overgrowth. So there's really nothing positive with overtaking these antibiotics. And the problem is doctors are overprescribing antibiotics. Now we have people resistant to antibiotics. And that's why, from my perspective, a lot of the times these triple threat or quadruple threat combinations of antacids, of antibiotics, proton pump inhibitors, and H2 blockers don't work all the time because we're becoming so resistant. Some examples of the proton pump inhibitors. These actually stop production of stomach acid, and they're usually used to treat GERD. Well, in my recommendation, you need to find out if your GERD is from too much HCl or not enough. And from working with people, it's usually from not enough. So these are things like Prilosec, Nexium, Prevacid, on and on and on. Well, the problem with these is you can have sometimes stomach pain from taking them, constipation, diarrhea, dizziness, upper respiratory infections, on and on, right? So it's not really that good to take. You're getting all these side effects. And the H2 blockers, well, these are used in quadruple threat, right? If you take an antacid, antibiotic, and proton pump, this is your triple threat. Quadruple threat, you add in the H2 blocker. And these are basically used to reduce the amount of stomach acid that the stomach makes, right? Like Tagamet, Pepcid, and Zantac. Well, some side effects are dizziness, diarrhea, impotence, constipation, and on and on. So if you're taking all these and you have side effects, you're trying to eradicate something, you're actually trying to inhibit it and kill it. The problem is you can actually cause so many other problems. And taking it by itself, meaning taking these 3 or 4 all together, and not following nutrition and lifestyle recommendations, as well as following up with an herbal protocol and a gut healing program, and you can refer to my 4-hour gut healing program, you're never going to get better. I'm going to scroll down and go to some of my other notes, but you'll see a lot of the times, and I see this over and over again, and I'm telling you, get 6 to 10 phone calls a day, just scrolling down my notes here, that people are constantly being treated with H. pylori. They're taking the antibiotics. They have severe gut dysfunctions from doing it. And at the same token, they call us because they still have it. And it's not going away. They've been retested and they take the antibiotics. They've been retested and take the antibiotics. So a lot of the times, these people, they have to go on a specific protocol with herbs and not antibiotics. And I have to tell you, 100% of the time, when we do our nutrition and lifestyle recommendations with the right protocol for the right person, we eradicate the H. pylori. 100% of the time. So let's look at some of the herbs that help. This is in no specific order. Berberine. Well, berberine's in golden seal, Oregon grape, and things like that. Or you can actually, but just buy it simple. You can actually buy the essential oil in the supplement by itself. Well, it's kind of like an antibiotic. And studies show in vitro that not, meaning in a petri dish, that it can actually inhibit H. pylori. Not eradicate it, it can inhibit it. So berberine's a good thing with the right person to throw in there. DGL, or I can never pronounce this, deglycerized licorice root. Well, this is known to actually heal the mucosal lining and soothe the intestinal lining and promote healing and reduce inflammation. It's actually used as well in Chinese medicine. It's used with adrenal gland, things like that. It can actually, you got to be careful with people with low or high blood pressure, so make sure you check with your physician, but it can actually cause blood pressure issues. So you got to use it with the right person, but it's actually antimicrobial, okay? Because the flavonoids in the licorice roots, you can tell I'm tired, I'm stuttering here, actually have antimicrobial activities. Manuka honey. Well, Manuka honey, you got to be careful, because if someone has candida problems or digestive problems, you don't want to use the Manuka honey. But it actually has been shown to actually kill in vitro H. pylori. So that's something you might want to throw into the right protocol. Mastic gum, which you can get from Biotics or Allergy Research Group, it's actually a bark, okay? And it works for some people, it doesn't work for others, but actually it's been shown in vitro to kill H. pylori. So it's a great thing that I throw into a lot of people's protocols, but not everyone. So it's a bark, I forget, it's from the Amazon or something like that. But it's been known to actually kill H. pylori. Matula herbal formula. This is a tea and actually been shown to kill H. pylori. And this research has shown that when you use Matula tea, over 93% of the H. pylori, or the people retested, actually have been eradicated. It tastes good. It's a tea. You get a 30-day supply. And it actually works well in a lot of different instances. And if someone has a candida infection and H. pylori, I always throw this in, and it always helps with a 100% success rate. Siberian pine nut oil, I haven't really used this, but I read from a friend's document that it actually, there's some mixed reports on it with success, but it's an antimicrobial. So the right person, Siberian pine nut oil might work. So sulforaphane, this is a natural occurring chemical that's in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, right, and cabbage and things like that. Well, it's been shown to inhibit H. pylori. So yeah, you want to eat these things when you have H. pylori. You can actually get these in specific supplements, but it only inhibits the H. pylori, it doesn't kill it. Vitamin C, in some research papers, high doses has been shown to kill H. pylori. Vitamin U, this is found in raw cabbage and cabbage juice, so drinking cabbage juice when you have H. pylori is very helpful. It's been shown to help heal eroded mucosal lining and things like that. And this will help with healing the ulcers from the H. pylori. So it actually heals the gut from the side effects from the H. pylori. So it's actually beneficial to put in, and you usually find it in cabbage juice or in supplements. Zinc L-carnosine, this is another supplement that you can use. It's antimicrobial, and it's actually been used to protect against H. pylori. So you can see I'm rattling on and I'm exhausted, but there's a lot of different herbs. The bottom line is you got to do the nutritional recommendations. You got to do the right type of lab tests. So refer to my last H. pylori YouTube, and you got to pick the right herbs and the right formula to match the right person, because not every herb is going to work with everyone. So hopefully you've learned something. I've stuttered. I've talked fast. Probably not made a lot of sense because I'm a little tired, but I wanted to get something out there because I get so many questions and concerns with H. pylori. So peace out. I'm going to go rest. I'm going to put another one up on Wednesday, and I'll catch you later.